A few moments ago, Kevin Estre crossing the line with an 8:12.741, and in 2018 his teammate on that day, Manthey, who we're obviously thinking about at the moment, as although he was been cleared physically by the medics, we wait to see whether he is cleared okay for the race itself. Plus, are they able to find a spare car in readiness for the 53rd edition of this race?
It has been announced during that session that they have withdrawn from the race in number 16.
Okay. Thank you for the update there. That hadn't got through to me. So we are going to be down to just one Share Sport PHX car, and that is the Audi, which has switched to those different tyres. But they are the defending winners from a peculiar race in 2024, where we barely had any hours of running. In the background, by the way, actually you can hear the flat six of Kevin Estre's car setting off on its quick lap. So a chance to see precisely how he did it around the 25.3-kilometre racetrack.
It fascinates me how these superstar drivers actually drive the Nordschleife. It's on a conventional track, which is where the car is now on the Grand Prix part. It's maximising your braking point, your turning point, the speed through the corner, using all the track on the left, using all the track on the right, through the left-right flick of the chicane, the faster version this time before we're about to turn left, and through Sabine Schmidt corner, and then out onto the Nordschleife. And these drivers, the like of Kevin Estre, will optimise every single metre of this Nordschleife section. They will maximise their entry, they'll maximise their speed through the corner, and it's just fascinating to watch. They know this track, every single inch is, they've been around this so many times. They know what curbs to use, as we saw there. They know what curbs, more importantly, not to use. And we saw that earlier, didn't we? With that slight mistake, whether it was cause or effect. We wait to find that out, but tremendous to watch, such talent.
And there have been changes to certain parts of the racetrack, as we were discussing earlier on in the day. Certain bits of it have been resurfaced, repaved, and that has brought the road level either slightly lower compared to the curb, or at Brunchen slightly higher. So the Brunchen curb on the exit is not as steep these days. Schwedenkreuz, though, which is, we think, where Manthey got into his slide, just taking too much curb, or did something break on the car. Still trying to work out precisely what happened. But this is the moment where Manthey had his spin, blistering speed through Schwedenkreuz, and to just get the car to vaguely the other side of the road in time for Arenberg takes some talent.
And by riding on board there with Kevin Estre, you now realise just how fast Manthey was going there, because that was almost flat out, and it was almost top speed for Estre. There was the slightest breath off the accelerator, because actually, by the looks of things, as you get to the apex, there's a slight rise and a slight bump, just to unsettle the car. And you saw Kevin's car moving around. Lawrence had lost the car before that point, but I wonder whether that bump then compounded his correction. We continue on the lap with Kevin Estre. Nothing particularly super dramatic right now. It's clean, but he's definitely not over-driving it.
No, it's all about smoothness. It's all about positioning the car. It's all about positioning the car, not necessarily in a conventional way for, say, a right-hander, but you position the car for what's coming after that, and it's that knowledge of the track, of what's coming after, around this one. Is it that section where I need to keep a little bit before I turn in, a little bit to the left through the sweeps there, the right-hand flat-out sweeps, before we then get on the brakes, and just watching it inch perfect, staying off the high curbs, using the exit curbs, just letting the car breathe, keeping the engine revs up, getting the right gear, of course, all part of the job for a driver like Kevin Estre.
I noticed on the Grand Prix loop at the very start of the lap, the fronts were not quite with him. He had a little bit of understeer through some of the Grand Prix sections of the track, but presumably that's exactly what you want, because the car comes to you through the lap. And as we're now midway through the Nordschleife, front end is much more as he wants it. When he turns, it sticks, it brings the car round, then he can get on the accelerator to bring the rear of the car around, and it works really well through this section, which is flat out apex after apex, after left, after left, after right. You just have to keep your foot pinned and believe.
Let's just listen to the engine through Kesselchen and Klostertal, because this is flat. Then another breathe, slight dab of the brake.
A little bit of a lift
again.
A little bit of a lift through Klostertal, and that's the left-hander before you head towards the right-hander that leads towards the carousel, and they're heavy on the brakes through the right-hander. Now we got get on the power nice and early. Let's just see how he takes and where he positions the car to enter the ball of the carousel. Takes it nice and early. You feel like you're abusing the car, rattling across the concrete slabs, throws the car out. The inertia fires you out of that the carousel ball. And then this, probably the hardest part of this track to learn as a beginner, into the section through S-Back, Brunchen. We're in to Whipperman at the moment. And this is where the track knowledge will bring you the lap time. Positioning the car, maximising your turning speed, which of course leads on to maximising that all-important exit speed.
He's climbed through the curbs there. Could have used more if he wanted to.
So heading down towards Brunchen now, massive campsite, huge, great, really music festival going on, and then a race as well. And so many people actually forget the sort of main reason for being here at the Nürburgring for the 24-hour. That's the curb that's slightly lower than this year at Brunchen.
Yeah, a little twitch there as well.
Ice curver, where it's very slippery at times, not on a day like this. Flansgarden. I didn't hear the car actually leave the ground. It might have done by a matter of millimetres. And now heading for the Stefan Beloff S in the distance, and the second concrete strip at Schwalbenschwanz.
This is a really, really tricky part. The track goes uphill through a very fast right-hander. It's where you choose to lift, where you choose to get back on the throttle, and then the left-hander leading up to the Kleiner Carousel. We then into the Kleiner Carousel, a smaller version than the carousel. Now we're getting towards the all-important right-hand sweeps onto the Dottinger Hohe. And this is important because this speed through here, through this right-hand section, getting onto the power nice and early, you carry that speed all the way down this really long straight, maximising out, let's say, 270 kilometres an hour.
They come out of that last corner at 220.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of, if you come out at 10 rather than 20, then you carry that disadvantage all the way along these couple of kilometres. And because of the aerodynamics of a GT3 car, you're hitting terminal velocity pretty quick, as you can hear. He's going no faster.
Yep.
So a waiting game now. Through Antonius Bucher, the king comes underneath the bridge. How late do you brake into Tiergarten? Still flat, and now the breath of the throttle, the braking, down to 110 kph for that kick out of Hohenrhein, and the link road back to the Grand Prix circuit. So this is the reward after a huge lap from Kevin Estre to see the lighting gantry in the distance, and it was an 8:12.741. Certainly not one of the quickest times we've seen in top qualifying over the years, but remember, full tanks and a warm day as well.